Good afternoon and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast as we bring you the action from week 4 from the WSL. Unfortunately, it's more bad news, unfortunately, from the women's team point of view. We'll talk you through it. We won't keep you too long on this one because we're all a bit deflated after what we watched today. So unfortunately, for all of those that made our way to the Bescott Stadium, saw us lose 4-2 to Tottenham Hotspur today in what largely a very even game. The scoreline doesn't reflect that. So we'll go through what we thought of the performance. Firstly, Stephen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. It's disappointed.
Yeah, largely disappointed now after that one.
Yeah. Talk us through the changes that were made by Carla Ward.
So a few changes were made to the personnel from last week. We saw Pacheco, Sarah Mailing, and Simone McGill out of the team, dropped to the bench for this week. We saw Adriana Leon, Ebony Salmon, and Jordan Nobbs come into the side. We also saw Lucy Parker get moved from midfield into a right-back role, which I thought was a bit strange because she's been one of our best players in midfield this season, and to move her into right-back was...
Yeah, it was a strange decision to make. It strikes me as such an experienced coach at Carla Ward doesn't actually know what our best 11 is starting off.
Yeah.
And let's face it hasn't been the best start to the season. So is she trying to try something different in order to get a result on the board? And let's be honest, it started off very well.
Yeah, started off very well. I thought maybe there might have been a knock to Sarah Mailing, and that's why Parker went in there, but we saw Sarah Mailing come on. So
yeah,
it's one to think about anyway.
Yeah, so we got off to a flying start anyway, and obviously we scored within the first 5 minutes. Talk us through the penalty.
Well, there's kind of a flick on, kind of over the edge of the penalty area, and it kind of fell to Leon, and the Tottenham defender dove in, and Leon took a touch past her, and we had a penalty. It wasn't a dangerous area. It's probably a very annoying penalty to concede from the Tottenham perspective.
I agree with you there. If you conceded that yourself, you'd be annoyed that you committed into that tackle. It was a stonewall penalty. There's nothing to discuss on that behalf. So up stepped the main woman, and
it wasn't a great penalty, but she kind of sent the goalkeeper the wrong way.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think it actually was a great penalty. It was just that it didn't look anything extravagant on the screen, but she committed the goalkeeper and just slotted it to her right hand side, and the keeper went to her left.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to say we were in the ascendancy at that stage. We just obviously couldn't add to the lead, and then there was a couple of things we could nitpick at in there, but. I suppose conceding the equaliser when we did was an absolute killer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a very end-to-end game, and Villa had the best chances, I thought, up until the equaliser, of course. Ebony Salmon had a shot from the edge of the box, good chance, great save by the keeper. It wasn't a huge chance, but definitely tested the goalkeeper. And Nobbs had a volley from the corner just after that Salmon shot, and went just wide.
And threw a pile of players where another day they hit someone and went in, really, wouldn't it?
So.
Yeah. Or as we'll get to later on, that Spurs one that was pinballing around the box ends up in the back of the net. It's just our luck, really, at the moment. So I suppose we'll get on to the equaliser, and I don't know where to start with this one without going in. It was just a poor error of judgment, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure. It looks like Van Domselaar was calling for the ball from Corsi, even though Martha Thomas was behind her, and she kind of blindly tried to give it back to her, and Martha Thomas intercepted it and lobbed Van Domselaar.
Yeah, there's a few things at play. Perhaps it was the wrong decision to turn back. Yeah. If Van Domselaar called for it, she was in the right position to call for it, and plus. I thought the attacker was too tight to her, really. Yeah. And that was probably the wrong decision to turn back into that. And she got something on the pass back, which led her into a direct position. Van Donselaar had the option. She started to run towards the attacker, which probably she probably should have kept going. On another day, when the accuracy wouldn't be as good, she would have rushed her into a shot and the ball probably wouldn't have gone anywhere near the goal. But look, it was a killer, and I think it was just sums up how the season has gone so far, hasn't it?
It was just so against the run of play. Villa were dominating that part of the game, I thought, and they're just trying to slow it down because it was very end to end. They're just trying to slow it down, and then caught like that.
Punished.
Of all the players on the pitch, flying in form, Martha Thomas, and she just and finish.
As you say, she's now the top scorer in the WSL after only scoring one goal last season.
Yeah,
it's absolutely nuts. But that's the way this game goes. When you look at it, how flying we were last season, a bad run of games, and let's face it, we can add this one to the bad run of games because Spurs are flying.
Yeah, they're not the same Spurs that we played against last year.
Exactly, yeah. And while they lost on the opening day to Chelsea, they've won every game since. So as things stand at the time of recording, they sit top of the league going into the rest of the weekend fixtures. It was the second goal that really killed me, and the reason it killed me is the referee had numerous occasions where she could have blown the halftime whistle. We had gone over the allotted time, and then what happened?
Just a home cross to the back post where Ash Neville was waiting and headed down back across the goal. Not much Van Donselaar could do to stop it, but
yeah, it was one of those slow motion ones like we conceded against Man United as well. A cushion header, just evaded everybody and bounced over the line into the side net, and it was a really hard one to take. And I don't really like going in on referees at that level, but you make so much trouble for yourself by doing stupid things. And she had so many opportunities. The time was well up, and it just caught us out badly. And then what a time to concede the second goal. And it meant we started the second half having to go and chase the game. And it really was a killer for us, wasn't it?
Oh, it's just sickening.
Yeah. So we didn't make any changes at halftime, did we?
We did not, no.
No. So talk us through the opening exchanges of the second half.
We kind of started the second half how we started the first half. I think piling the pressure on. Daly had a shot saved, well saved. And then just Tottenham started to take control, I think, after maybe 10 minutes into the second half, and tough to get back into it when you're chasing the game.
Yeah, and then, of course, the killer came from us then. I think it was around the 60th minute they got the third goal.
They did. It was Martha Thomas again, kind of the ball, pinballing around the box, as you said, and who was the fault of Martha Thomas, of course.
Yeah.
In space, in the box, and there's only one destination for the ball.
Well, there was a lot of destinations for the ball, but it was the perfect finish. It was just the only space she had to hit the net. She hit the net, so we can't really fault her for her finish. We just had numerous chances to deal with it. We didn't deal with it, and you just can't stand off a player when a ball drops like that. So then there was numerous changes shortly after that, wasn't there?
Straight after the goal, we saw 3 changes. We saw Simone McGill, Ebony Salmon, we saw Jordan Nobbs, Mads Pacheco, and Sarah Mayling come on for Simone McGill, Ebony Salmon, and Adriana Leon. 3 of the players who were dropped for last week coming on. And we saw a kind of change of formation to kind of a back 5 or a back 3, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah. Well, we kind of saw Sarah Mayling and Mads Pacheco play kind of a wing back kind of role with 3 centre halves in behind. Like I said at the start, I'm not sure with the additional talent that's been brought in, the likes of Adriana Leon, who's yet to she's shown sparks that she's a good player, as has Ebony Salmon, but just not up to that level as yet, I don't think. So I think there's a lot of soul searching to be done over the international break to find out what exactly is our starting 11, because it usually is very settled. Last season we were nearly putting out the same 11 every week with the same 11, same subs, and it's difficult, and as we alluded to, we were still a couple of players short on what we could put on the bench, which was unfortunate. And I thought for them being on the pitch, the next 10 minutes or so of them being on the pitch, that we were back in the ascendancy and looked like the most likely to score.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
A goal.
A goal. Of course it did. Yeah.
Who else? But Martin Thomas again.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of stretched. We were chasing the game. We were pushing on. We got stretched and then counter-attacked. And another great finish by Martin Thomas.
Great finish. Got very lucky with that first touch. He was probably 25, 30 yards out. The first touch was probably a bad touch, but it actually, if you were running that goal, it was a bad touch. But with Van Domselaar slightly off our line, it was just perfect for her just to take it on. And then we huffed and puffed for the rest of the game. We didn't create any really huge chances. Like the stats will tell you that with big chances we had 3, they had 2. But unfortunately, the scoreline is the only one that matters, and that was 4-2. So talk us through the goal for the injury time goal that we did actually score.
A corner came in. It was flicked on by the front post. Came to Rachel Corsi at the back post, and she volleyed it. Great save by the keeper, who was leaning backwards after running across the goal, and then fell to Lucy Parker, who headed it in.
Yeah, it was, and again, I've called her out already. That goal probably shouldn't have happened either, because the referee had plenty of options to blow a full-time whistle, and she didn't. So, they're trying to improve the game at this level. The standard of refereeing needs to be improved. I'm not going to go too heavy on the linesman or the assistant referees, because it is quite difficult to see from our point of view and the vantage point of the TV cameras in the Bestcott Stadium. But it looked like there was a few marginal offsides, that there was possibly an offside in the lead up to that second goal. There was a few. The referee allowed a few, I thought, strange challenges go rather than just blow or whistle. And then for the final 10 minutes, every time Spurs threw themselves to the ground, she was blowing the whistle. But look, it's that's me just nitpicking. Spurs took their chances. We didn't. The stats will tell you it was a 50-50 game with 50-50 possession. And at 4-1, it flattered them, I thought, the score. So 4-2 puts a little bit of better perspective on it. But there's a lot of hard work to do, isn't there?
There is a lot of hard work to do. International break now, and Carla Ward will get to work with those who aren't on international duty.
Yeah. And it doesn't get any easier when we come back, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No, so we've got 2 weeks off now, so you won't be looking at our 2 ugly mugs for the next 2 weeks. So the next fixture is against Chelsea at home again on the 4th of September. A 1:30 kickoff. So look, it's going to be a tough international break to go into. There's a lot more questions that need to be answered at this stage. And I suppose the main thing is how we turn this around. We know we have a good team. We know we have a good manager. We just got to get behind them and hope that it gets better. Like 2,810 people in the Bestcott today, decent turnout on a weekend where the men's team have a home fixture as well. So, we got to hope that we keep supporting them in the way that we can. We'll keep coming on here every week for as long as people keep listening. If there's anything in particular you want us to talk about it in the meantime, by all means, get in touch with the podcast. Send us a DM on whatever platform you wish, and we'll be more than happy to add stuff in here or anything you want to talk about at all. But we don't need to tell you this isn't a live podcast, so if you are commenting underneath and we're not answering, please bear with us. You'll understand that that's what's going on here. But look, we got 2 weeks off.
We are looking to have Kenza Daly back for the international break. She's back on grass now.
Yeah.
We've been talking about her for the last few weeks.
She's
the messiah.
I thought we would have got through a podcast without mentioning her. that and the fact that we were also missing Kirsty Hansen. So, arguably 2 of our best players still to come back into this team. Hopefully, we know that we're going to have Kirsty Hansen back for Chelsea. and we can only pray that Kenza Daly is that close as well.
Yeah.
If she's back on the grass, it may not be Chelsea. It might be a step too far to be there.
Yeah.
But to have Kirsty Hansen back in there with Rachel Daly will make a huge difference to us. And it has been a huge loss. And look, we have had zero luck in this row of games. And to be heading into Chelsea again on this one is just nuts. We thought we would have got some bit of luck today. Nothing fell for us. Absolutely nothing fell for us. So, Kirsty Hansen's 3-match ban has been served. I don't think either of us believe it should have been a 3-match ban. I don't think anyone who's ever played the game believes it should be a 3-match ban. But there you go. That's the standard of officiating in this league. But there we go. That's going to do us for today. As I said, please do get in touch if you want us to add anything to this podcast. We know they're only short and sweet. They will get longer. As time goes on and people start interacting with us, maybe we'll do the odd live one and answer a few questions and see how that goes. So bear with us. We'll see what happens. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.